Destroy? That sounds like a very serious word to use. But okay, maybe it was not completely destroyed. However, I did say something extremely unforgettable during that meeting, and now I am a little worried about what people think.
I still cannot believe I said this, but I told everyone that we needed to improve the customer potato. Yes, the customer potato, which honestly sounds much more like a farming project than a business idea.
Wait, customer potato? Did you mean customer portal? Because those two words may sound similar, but they create completely different images, and one of them definitely does not belong at a business meeting.
Exactly. I meant portal, not potato. And that was a very different business strategy, because one is about technology and customers, while the other sounds like I was planning something related to agriculture.
All right, let's go back for a moment and explain what actually happened, because I think this mistake was not really about English. There was something deeper happening in that situation.
Someone asked for my opinion, and the funny thing was that I already had my idea clearly organized in my mind, but the moment everyone looked at me, my brain became nervous and chose the wrong word.
That pressure moment happens to many learners because sometimes we know exactly what we want to say, but when attention is suddenly on us, our confidence disappears and our words do not come out the way we planned.
Exactly, my English knowledge was not the problem. Because I understood my idea perfectly, the real problem was that my confidence left the room for a few seconds when I needed it the most.
And that is something many people experience because instead of explaining calmly, they start speaking faster, using complicated words, and trying too hard to sound professional, which can make them feel even more nervous.
Yes, I became that person who was trying to look confident while secretly feeling stressed inside, almost like a business robot that was working too hard and overheating at the same time.
I understand that feeling because after a mistake like that, many people focus more on the mistake than the message they were trying to share, and they start losing confidence.
After the potato incident, I apologized several times and even said, "Sorry, I am bad at explaining," even though the idea was already clear in my head and I only became nervous while speaking.
That is such a realistic situation because sometimes the problem is not your English ability. The real challenge is building your answer clearly and calmly when you are under pressure.
Yes, I had the idea, but I did not have a peaceful way to express it in that moment. And that is exactly why we created the Daily English Class Answer Builder.
Many learners understand questions easily and know what they want to communicate. But when it is time to answer, their response becomes too short, too rushed, or unclear because they cannot organize their thoughts quickly.
The Daily English Class Answer Builder helps you create stronger answers step by step by adding a reason, a feeling, an example, and a personal detail so your English sounds more natural and confident.
It helps you express yourself in a way that feels more like you. Because good communication is not only about correct grammar, it is about sharing your real thoughts clearly.
So today, we are fixing my customer portal. Not customer potato, not potato. And definitely not potato, because we want better communication, not a new farming business.
And that is what we are focusing on today. Learning how to communicate with calm, clear confidence, even when you feel nervous or make small mistakes.
Hey, English learners, welcome back to Daily English Class. your comfortable place to learn English through real everyday conversations, where we practice speaking naturally and confidently together.
I'm Emily, and today we are talking about how to communicate with confidence in English. Not fake confidence, but the kind that helps you stay calm during real conversations.
We are not talking about speaking quickly and hoping people understand you, because I have tried that method before, and honestly, it creates more problems than solutions.
Real confidence means staying in the conversation, even when you feel nervous, searching for words or making mistakes, because confidence is about control, not perfection.
Later in Say It Better, we will take common nervous learner sentences and transform them into expressions that sound more natural, confident, and respectful.
And in Word Tour, we will explore useful B2 and C1 vocabulary connected to today's topic so you can express your ideas with more depth.
So let's begin with one of the biggest mistakes many learners make: believing that confidence means speaking as quickly as possible.
Yes, and honestly, Leo, learners are not the only ones who think this, because many people believe fast speaking automatically means better English.
Before we continue, I want to admit something. When I hear confident English speakers, they seem fast. They rarely pause, and they always appear ready with the perfect words.
So you thought that if you spoke faster, people would think you were more fluent and more confident? I completely understand why you had that idea.
Exactly. I believed that speed would make my English sound stronger. But later I realized that speaking quickly does not always mean communicating clearly.
Fast English can sound impressive for a short moment, but after that, the important question is not whether someone spoke quickly. The important question is whether people understood the message.
Because clear communication matters more than speed, and sometimes a person who speaks slowly can sound much more confident than someone who speaks very fast.
That is because confident speakers are usually calm, clear, and comfortable with their words, instead of trying to rush through every sentence.
So if I slow down, people will not think I am weak? No, when you speak with purpose and control, slowing down can actually make you appear more confident.
There is a difference between freezing and pausing, because freezing means your mind stops from fear, while pausing means you are giving yourself time to organize your next thought.
A pause is not a sign of weakness. It can actually show confidence, because you are choosing your words carefully instead of speaking without thinking.
Many people feel silence is dangerous because they imagine others are judging them, but often that feeling comes from self-doubt rather than reality.
That inner voice says things like, "You are too slow. People are waiting. Hurry up." But even confident speakers hear that voice sometimes.
The difference is that confident people learn how to manage those feelings instead of allowing nervousness to control the conversation.
Confidence does not mean you never feel nervous. It means you can stay composed and continue speaking even when you feel pressure.
Being composed means staying calm and focused instead of becoming frozen, and that is a skill every English learner can develop.
So if I forget a word but remain calm, I am composed. And if I take a short breath before answering, I am also showing confidence.
And if I say customer potato during a meeting and still continue the conversation without panic, that might be an advanced level of being composed.
Now let's look at what happened in your meeting. Because you had a good idea, but pressure changed the way you delivered that idea.
Everyone looked at you. You felt nervous, you rushed your answer, and because of that pressure, your words became less clear than they were in your mind.
Then one mistake happened, and instead of moving forward, you focused too much on that one moment and started apologizing more than necessary.
That is the part we need to improve, not the mistake itself, because mistakes are normal and they are part of learning.
We can reduce mistakes through practice and preparation, but we cannot completely remove them from life. And learning to handle them calmly is real confidence.
I know, but that is actually the truth. The real skill is not becoming someone who never makes mistakes, because mistakes are a normal part of speaking any language.
Exactly. The important skill is learning how to recover after a mistake. Recovering means taking control again instead of allowing one small mistake to ruin the whole conversation.
Yes, when you recover, you do not let one wrong word become the main focus. You simply fix it and continue sharing your message.
That sounds difficult, but the good thing is that it is something people can learn with practice. It is not a natural talent that only some people have.
Okay, then give me a better version of what I should have done in that meeting. I want to know how a confident speaker would handle the customer potato situation.
All right, when you said we need to improve the customer potato, the best thing would be to stay calm and pause for a moment instead of immediately panicking.
Maybe keep the correction simple. That is actually a good point, because people often make mistakes bigger than they need to be.
Exactly. Just say, "Sorry, I mean customer portal." That is enough, because a small correction can fix the situation without creating extra attention.
So, there is no need for a long explanation about how bad I am at explaining things or how nervous I feel. One simple correction is completely enough.
Right. You only need to correct the word and continue. Because the goal is not to prove you are perfect. The goal is to communicate your idea clearly.
So I could say, sorry, I mean customer portal. Or, let me correct that, customer portal. That already sounds much more confident.
Exactly. Because it keeps everyone focused on your message instead of your mistake.
Now I understand. When I say I am bad at explaining, I move everyone's attention away from my idea and toward the mistake I made.
That is close. But I would say you are moving attention away from the message itself.
Maybe not everyone is judging you, but you are making the mistake the center of the conversation. And that is something confident speakers try to avoid.
Exactly. You want your idea to remain the focus. Confident communication protects your message, even when something goes wrong.
That is actually a beautiful way to explain it. I think I am slowly recovering from my customer potato disaster.
Good. So now we understand that confidence is not about speaking quickly. It is about speaking clearly and staying calm while expressing yourself. And if you make a mistake, the goal is not to criticize yourself. The goal is to recover, continue, and keep the conversation moving forward.
Are we finished now? I feel like my confidence has been repaired emotionally after this discussion.
Not yet, because there is another confidence skill many learners forget about. It is the ability to ask for clarification.
Oh, I do not like that one. Asking someone to repeat something always makes me feel like they will think my English is weak.
Or they might think you are actually listening carefully and making sure you understand correctly. Clarifying can show responsibility, not weakness.
That is not the answer I expected, but I understand your point. Asking questions can actually be a confident action.
Exactly. Clarification means asking someone to explain something more clearly. Even native speakers do this all the time in conversations.
Native speakers say things like, "Could you explain that another way?" Or, "Sorry, I did not catch the last part." They do not feel embarrassed about it.
Many learners believe understanding everything immediately proves confidence, but actually, it only proves you understood that specific moment.